the party, his girlfriend played truth or dare. The loser had to call the person they regretted most in life. She asked the person on the other end of the line, if I got divorced right now, would you give me a home? I would. The room fell silent. Everyone thought I'd lose my temper and flip the table, but I just calmly took off the ring on my ring finger. We haven't registered yet. It's not too late. Then let's break up. I'll make room for him. After saying that, before my girlfriend could speak, I had already turned and walked away. On the way, I called home in Jingbei. Mom, Dad, I agree to come home and get married. Great. Xiaochuan, you've finally come to your senses. You're the only heir to the Lin group. If you hadn't insisted on gaining experience outside all these years, you should have married and taken over the family business long ago. Your father and I have already found a suitable met. We were just waiting for you to say the word. Hearing their relieved and delighted tone, I felt a pang of guilt. My tone softened unconsciously. I'll follow your arrangements. Oku. The wedding is set for January 19th. How about that? When are you coming back? Do you want to meet your arranged marriage partner beforehand? I'll arrange for you to meet soon. My mother's nagging, her eager and incessant chatter, gave me a headache. I didn't care who it was. I had no interest, so I interrupted my mother. I want to come back to the Lin family early to see your burdens. The arranged marriage is just a side issue. No need to meet. Just arrange the wedding. I'll come back the day before the wedding. As soon as I finished speaking, the bedroom door was pushed open from outside. Hearing the noise, I instinctively turned my head and saw Lu Ruyan frowning as she walked in. Wedding? What wedding? Facing Lu Ruyan's puzzled face, I calmly hung up the phone. I made up a random excuse. A friend is getting married and wants me to be the best man. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan's expression finally softened. She didn't ask anymore. I put my phone on the table and turned into the bathroom. Soon, the sound of running water was heard. The phone on the table also rang. Listening to the continuous beeping, I hesitated for a moment. Then I tapped the screen and saw a notification. A message from Chen Ziyi. Do you still remember what you said back then? You're not really planning to marry Lin Chuan, are you? These words made my heart skip a beat. I paused for a moment, then gently scrolled up and saw the message Lu Ruyan had sent over 10 minutes ago. Chen Ziyi, in 33 days, it'll be your 28th birthday. Do you still remember what you promised me back then? I put the phone back in its place and leaned back on the sofa. Many memories flashed through my mind. When I was 18, my aunt came back to get married. I came back too and entered Yenda University to better enjoy college life. And for safety reasons, I never mentioned my identity to anyone. At the welcome party in my senior year, to help out my roommate, I went on stage to accompany a song. As I carried my instrument off stage, I looked down and saw Lu Ruyan. She was wearing a white gauze dress, holding a bouquet of flowers. She waited at the door. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me. Can I get your contact info? I'm a sucker for good looks, so I agreed on the spot. After that, we contacted each other every day, and we'd run into each other in various places from time to time. 3 months after we met, Lu Ruyan confessed her feelings. Young love at first sight. I had no reason to refuse, and so we got together. From age 21 to 28. For 7 years, my family kept urging me to come back for an arranged marriage. After I refused many times, I also tested her thoughts a few times, but every time the topic of marriage came up, Lu Ruyan would avoid it like the plague. She never brought it up. At first, I thought she just wasn't ready for marriage, but after it happened many times, I sensed something was off. Until half a month ago, at a party, chatting after drinking, I heard the truth. It turned out that the person in Lu Ruyan's heart had always been her childhood friend, Chen Ziyi. Too bad it was unrequited law. Chen Ziyi only saw her as a friend, and the reason she approached me was because on that first night we met, Chen Ziyi got together with someone else, and the way I played the piano on stage had a bit of a resemblance to his crush. To console her broken heart, and to spite Chen Ziyi, she chose me. In the following years, Chen Ziyi had a series of relationships. Every time she heard he'd broken up, Lu Ruyan would think about going to him. But before she could say anything, Chen Ziyi would find a new target, and her sadness would deepen. And so, time passed. 7 years went by, and we hadn't broken up. Lu Ruyan had never given up. She was always waiting for Chen Ziyi to change his mind, waiting for a joke Chen Ziyi made when they were young. Ruyan, when I turned 28, if we're both still single, how about we give it a try? So she asked him every year. And this year, she finally reached Chen Ziyi's 28th birthday. Scrolling through the chats on Lu Ruyan's phone, I smiled. In 33 days, it would be Chen Ziyi's 28th birthday. It was also the day I chose to break up and go home to get married. Seeing Lu Ruyan go into the study, I got up, turned off the light, and lay back in bed. I don't know how long passed. In the dark room, I heard a light, hurried footstep. A phone with a faint glow was placed on the nightstand. Someone lay down behind me. Then there was a long silence, until I heard a shallow, steady breathing beside me. I opened my eyes, reached out and took Lu Ruyan's phone, then opened the original chat interface. There were only 4 more words. Never forget, a simple sentence. But I could imagine how Lu Ruyan looked when she typed those words, probably biting her lip, staring intently at the screen, typing a long string of words and then deleting them, carefully choosing her words, afraid her feelings would be easily detected, yet afraid they wouldn't be detected at all. Such a careful and cautious attitude only appeared when she was dealing with Chen Ziyi. Thinking about it, a bitter smile appeared on my lips. She was fixated on the 28-year-old promise, waiting for Chen Ziyi to agree to marry her. All night, I lay with my eyes closed, unable to sleep. After dawn, I heard rustling sounds beside me. I opened my eyes. Get off work early today. Lu Ruyan was applying skincare products. She looked at me, puzzled. What's up? After a long silence, I spoke slowly. It's your birthday today. Did you forget? Lu Ruyan stiffened slightly, then she nodded. For the past half-month, Lu Ruyan had been thinking about the 28-year-old promise with Chen Ziyi. She couldn't focus on anything else. Now she'd even forgotten her own birthday. Thinking back to the 2 months I'd spent preparing a surprise, only to have it all be in vain. I felt a mix of emotions. Lu Ruyan didn't notice the change in my expression. She told me to keep it simple. No need to be as grand as before. In the past, I'd always go all out to throw her a birthday party, just to make her het pie. But she never appreciated my efforts. So hearing her say that, my tone carried a hint of self-mockery. The party is already planned. Everyone has agreed to come. I can't cancel it. This birthday party had been planned 3 months ago. Back then, I didn't know she had someone else in her heart. If I had known, I wouldn't have done it. Hearing my explanation, Lu Ruyan didn't say anything more. She picked up her phone and left the bedroom. Before she turned, I caught a glimpse of her slightly furrowed brow. After arriving at the company, I first went to the Manhwa GOS office to submit my resignation. When I came out, seeing the resignation letter in my hand, the office erupted in chatter. Xiaochuan, you're leaving? Why so sudden? Did you find another job? That's decisive. You're not going back to inherit a fortune, are you? Hearing everyone's concern, I put down my things and smiled lightly. I'm going back to get married. My colleagues nodded in understanding, but Qin Hao, who was close to me, came over to ask, Lin Chuan, did your girlfriend finally agree to marry you? What made her change her mind? I didn't feel like explaining, so I changed the subject. Thank you all for your help over the years. I'll treat everyone to dinner later. After work, I had dinner with 4 or 5 colleagues for 2 hours. By the time I got to the hotel, it was already 8 o'clock. I hurried to the private room door. Just as I was about to push it open, the conversation inside made me stop. It's so cold outside. Who are you going to pick up? Who else? Chen Ziyi. I was close by just now. I heard Chen Ziyi is coming back today, so she's eagerly gone to pick him up. Really? Then Ruyan must be thrilled. Thrilled? It's her 28th birthday today. In a little over a month, Chen Ziyi will also be 28. Is he really coming back to fulfill his promise? I heard Chen Ziyi is single again. Looks like it's probably true. But if they get together... What about Lin Chuan? We've kept it from him for 7 years. He doesn't even know who Chen Ziyi is. And he's still devoted to Ruyan. What can we do? Ruyan is head over heels for Chen Ziyi. If Chen Ziyi agrees to keep his promise, she'll definitely dump him. It's just his bad luck. Good thing he has no background. If they break up, it'll be easy to get rid of him. Even though he's been good to us and to Ruyan all these years. We're Ruyan's best friends. We have to side with Ruyan. When the time comes, if they break up, let's not make it hard for Ruyan. We'll step in and give him a car or a house. As severance pay, I listened quietly for a while. I didn't make a move. Since I'd already decided to leave, I wasn't as sad as I was half a month ago. Instead, I found it a bit amusing. Lu Ruyan wanted to break up with me, and she needed her friends to get rid of me. What kind of relationship was this for 7 years? Too bad this time. I'm the one leaving first. I stood outside the door. Just then, a few waiters came over pushing a cart of wine. I quickly stepped back. As the door opened, the chatter inside stopped abruptly, as if nothing had happened. I walked in with a smile, greeted everyone and chatted for a moment. Lu Ruyan pushed the door open again, bringing a strange man with her. Looking at the figure that was 3 or 4 parts similar to mine, I observed Lu Ruyan without changing my expression. She led the man around the room. Finally, she came to me and introduced him. This is Chen Ziyi, a friend I grew up with. Lu Ruyan hesitated for a moment before continuing. And this is my ordinary friend, Lin Chuan. When she said that, Lu Ruyan was prepared for me to get angry. But things didn't go as she expected. I didn't react at all. I just looked up and gave her a deep look. Then I withdrew my hand and took 2 steps back, keeping my distance from both of them. A faint smile on my lips. Hello, Mr. Chen. I'm Lu Ruyan's ordinary friend. After the introductions, the room got lively again. Chen Ziyi was outgoing and could chat with anyone. He walked around with a glass of wine. He got a group of people to drink and play games. When things got exciting, he was holding cards and it was inconvenient. He needed someone to feed him some watermelon. Lu Ruyan didn't think twice. She used her own fork to pick up a piece and fed it to him. Chen Ziyi didn't think much of it either. He leaned over and took a few bites. Then he picked up his glass and drank half a glass of red wine. I was sitting a few meters away, watching Lu Ruyan hold that glass without letting go. She kept drinking glass after glass, and every time she drank, it was from the spot where Chen Ziyi's lips had just touched. By the end, she was already a bit drunk, but the classic birthday ritual couldn't be missed. Everyone sang the birthday song and told her to get up and blow out the candles and make a wish. The noisy room fell silent. I got up and personally pushed the cake over and put the candles in. Looking at the 28 on the candles, Lu Ruyan rubbed her temples as if trying to shake off the drunkenness. Her already unfocused eyes scanned the room. Then she raised a finger. I don't want to make a wish this year. Let's make it a question instead. As she spoke, she pointed at Chen Ziyi, and that gaze, though not sober, was burning hot, fixed directly on him. Ziyi, you're about to turn 28 too. I want to ask you a question. Do you have a girlfriend now? As soon as she said that, everyone looked at each other in surprise, facing the probing glances from all directions. Chen Ziyi was slightly stunned before answering. Not right now. After a brief silence, someone let out a surprised wow, and the room exploded. A few of her drunk best friends stood up and pushed the tipsy Lu Ruyan around, dancing and singing. Watching this chaotic scene, I sat still, calmly and quietly playing the role of a clueless, unsuspecting ordinary friend. The party went on until early morning. Finally, the birthday party ended. After everyone had left, I helped Lu Ruyan into the car. She was still immersed in the earlier joy. Leaning in my arms, she said a lot of heartfelt things. She said with a sob, "Don't go. Stay with me, Oko. Why can they all have it, but not me? I've waited for you for so many years. I wait for you every day." The driver in the front seat listened and chuckled all the way. As we were about to get out, he saw me helping a drunk woman and couldn't resist teasing me. "Sir, your girlfriend really loves you." I smiled slightly at the driver. My tone was calm. She loves Chen Ziyi very much, but I'm not Chen Ziyi. Waking up after a night of drinking, Lu Ruyan remembered what happened last night. She grabbed me and started explaining. "Lin Chuan, as soon as I got to the club yesterday, I was plied with drinks. I might have said a lot of nonsense. That was all just drunken talk. Don't take it to heart. I didn't expect her to remember last night, nor did I expect her to come up with such a lame excuse. But I still calmly and rationally played along with her act." I nodded slightly. "It's okay. I understand. I don't know why." But looking at my calm face, and remembering my reaction when she introduced me to Chen Ziyi yesterday, Lu Ruyan felt strange. She thought it over and felt something was off, so she quickly changed the subject. "I was so busy drinking with everyone yesterday, I forgot about you." "Lin Chuan, are you a little angry? How about we go on a date after work today? I have something to do this afternoon." "I can't go." Seeing my outright refusal, Lu Ruyan became even more insistent. She insisted on making it up to me. I couldn't refuse, so I agreed. That evening, I changed my clothes and was about to go out when a message from Qin Hao suddenly came through. "Lin Chuan, did you not tell your girlfriend about your resignation? She just came looking for you. She seems pretty angry now." Before I could finish reading the message, Lu Ruyan's call came through. Looking at the flashing screen, a hint of seriousness flashed in my eyes. After a moment's hesitation, I still pressed the answer button. Lu Ruyan's angry voice came through the phone. "Didn't you tell me you resigned to get married?" I was still thinking of an excuse to explain, but Lu Ruyan kept scolding me coldly. "I told you. I don't have any plans to get married yet." Then I realized. Lu Ruyan thought I was pressuring her to get married. No wonder she was so angry. I patiently explained a couple of things. I was just joking with my colleagues. How could it be serious? "I resigned because I've been a bit tired lately. I want to take a break." Hearing this, her voice finally returned to normal. Don't make jokes like that anymore. I agreed softly. Then I heard Lu Ruyan ask, where are you? Do you want me to come over? I was about to give her the address when I suddenly heard a very faint laugh. It sounded just like Chenze's. The words lingered on my lips for a moment, then turned into, no need, I'll call you. The call was quickly hung up. Looking at the darkening screen, a self-mocking smile appeared on my lips. If she really wanted to come find me, why would she hang up so fast? She was just going through the motions. Why did I take it seriously? I hailed a TAC 11 and rushed to the agreed restaurant. After the waiter heard the name, he led me straight to the top floor. When I pushed open the private room door, I saw a table full of dishes, but no one was there. Seeing my puzzled look, the waiter respectfully explained, Miss Lu ordered the meal about 10 minutes ago. She said to start without her. She has some urgent business. She might be a bit late. Thinking about the phone call just now, a knowing expression appeared on my face. She probably went to accompany Chenze again. It wasn't really a lie. After all, to her, as long as she was with the person she loved, even the smallest thing was urgent. I didn't dwell on it. I went straight into the room. The waiter diligently set out the tableware and introduced each dish one by one. Looking at the table full of seafood, I squinted slightly. During my years in Europe, I couldn't get used to Western food. I ate a lot of seafood and got tired of it. Even after returning to China, I still wasn't used to it. If it were before, when I ate with her, seeing these dishes, I would probably have accommodated her. But now, I don't want to force myself anymore. I waved my hand and told the waiter to take it all away. Mr. Lin, Miss Lu has already paid for this table. It's very expensive. Are you sure you don't want it? If we take it all away, the restaurant won't give a refund. I raised an eyebrow, took a card out of my bag and handed it over. I know. Take it away and order new dishes. Just use this card. Don't worry, I can afford it. By the time I finished eating, Lu Ruyan still hadn't shown up. I didn't feel like waiting for her anymore. I paid and went home. Halfway there, a few messages came through. Lin Chuan, can you stay out tonight? Ze suddenly came back. The old house hasn't been cleaned yet, and he's caught a bad cold. He has a bit of a stomach ache. He can't be left alone. I want to stay overnight. Is out. On one hand, she wants to take care of Chen Ze. On the other hand, she's afraid he'll find out about us. How interesting. This time, I didn't feel like letting Lu Ruyan. I asked her directly. Isn't he your friend? Why do you have to hide our relationship? And how long are you going to hide it? It took a long time for a reply to come. Lu Ruyan didn't give any explanation. She just replied with a date, January 18th. If it were before, I wouldn't have known why she chose that day. But now I know. The 18th is Chenze's birthday. If Chenze keeps his promise and gets together with her that day, she'll probably break up with me without hesitation. If Chenze doesn't agree that day, she'll settle down and propose to me. She asked the real question in a probing tone. If she gets rejected, she still has me, her official boyfriend, as a backup. She can pass it off as a joke. Whether she moves forward or backward, she has a perfect solution. He had a perfect solution for everything. I almost admire him. Too bad I don't want to be his backup in LOP anymore. I didn't reply to him. I just turned off my phone. Then I gave the address of a hotel. I drank some alcohol before bed. I slept until the afternoon. I wanted to check the time. When I turned it on, dozens of new messages popped up. Most of them were from Lu Ruyan. A few were from her close friends. Hey, where are you? Why aren't you answering? You're not replying to messages. Don't scare us. Ruyan went crazy. She looked for you all night. Looking at these accusatory messages, I let out a cold laugh. Is turning off the phone and sleeping scaring people? Besides, who among them doesn't know Chen Ze is the one Lu Ruyan holds dearest? Would they care if I lie or die? Just as I was thinking, Lu Ruyan called. Her temper wasn't great. Lin Chuan, Ze just came to stay for one night. Do you have to be so angry? Even if you're unhappy, you shouldn't vent your dissatisfaction like this. I didn't feel like explaining anymore, so I made an excuse. No dissatisfaction. My phone died and shut down automatically. In the past, Lu Ruyan would probably believe me. But today, for some reason, she suddenly got suspicious and asked, then why could I always reach you before? But you turned it off last night? Hearing her questioning, I was stunned. I suddenly remembered many things. A few years ago, late one night, Lu Ruyan suddenly had a stomachache. She called her secretary but dialed me by mistake. After hearing that, I immediately got up to bring her medicine. Last year, she went on a business trip abroad with a 7 or 8 hour time difference. Lu Ruyan couldn't remember my time zone. She called at 3 or 4 in the morning to ask about a document. I forced myself awake, opened the surveillance to help her find it. 3 months ago, I had an appendectomy. I was just off the operating table, still under anesthesia. Her message came saying she wanted milk tea. I still asked a nurse to help bring it. Every single thing was proof of how much I loved her. Too bad no matter how much I gave, she never saw it. Thinking of this, my tone uncontrollably carried some self-mockery. Just afraid that when you needed me, I wouldn't be there. Yesterday, you probably didn't need me. Hearing my ambiguous tone, Lu Ruyan's heart trembled slightly. In 7 years together, I always went along with her. Listened to her. We never fought or argued. Many things she didn't want to explain, I never pressed her about. From daily life to dinners and dates, I always took care of her. I asked myself, Lu Ruyan had to admit, I was an almost perfect boyfriend, remembering how good I was to her. Her tone softened a bit. I understand. I was just too worried about you earlier. That's why I spoke so harshly. So Lin Chuan. Where are you now? I'll come find you. I didn't want to see her then. I just said no need and took a cab back. As soon as I got home, the nanny told me, Sir, Miss Lu just left. I didn't need to guess. She was probably called away by Chen Ze again. The lingering scent of men's cologne in the air. I didn't ask where she went. Quietly told the nanny to open the windows to let some air in. For the next half month, I didn't see Lu Ruyan again. I seemed to have forgotten she was my girlfriend. Not a single call or message. Through Chenze's social media, I clearly knew her whereabouts, but I didn't want to question where she went, nor did I want to dig into what she was thinking. To me, every day now was just a countdown. I had no mood to spend any more effort on someone I was destined to say goodbye to. New Year's Eve. That day, it was snowing. I was in a good mood. I watched movies all night by the floor-to-ceiling window. At midnight, fireworks and firecrackers roared outside. I was a bit tired. I lay back in the rocking chair and scrolled through social media. The door, quiet all night, suddenly heard footsteps. I sat up, leaning on the chair, and saw Lu Ruyan, dead drunk, come back. She staggered in, dropped a bunch of bags on the sofa, then opened them one by one in front of me. These are 2 scarves I just bought. It's snowing so hard outside. Lin Chuan, are you cold? Lin Chuan, this is the Rolex I bought a few days ago. It's a New Year's gift for you. See if you like it. As she spoke, Lu Ruyan shoved the gifts into my arms. I felt hot and took off the scarf. She started pulling my hand to apologize. So I've been so busy these past few days. I didn't have time to come back and see you. Are you mad at me again? And last time, I shouldn't have stood you up. Lin Chuan. Forgive me. Okay, let's be good from now on. As she said this, Lu Ruyan leaned in to kiss me. I couldn't stand the smell of alcohol on her. I didn't know what was wrong with her again. After much persuasion, I got her into the bedroom. After she fell asleep, I cleaned up the bags scattered in the living room. Then I picked up my phone. Social media was flooded with lovey-dovey posts. The one that caught my eye most was Chen Zhe's. She posted a 9-grid photo. All pictures with a girl in the snow. The caption was interesting too. Meeting the right person in the first snow. Seeing this, all my doubts were resolved. No wonder Lu Ruyan came back drunk suddenly and took the initiative to be nice to me. So her crush had a new relationship. Yeah, if it weren't for that, why would she remember me? The old flame. A flicker of sarcasm in my eyes. I raised my hand to undo the watch on my wrist and threw it on the table. In the following days, Lu Ruyan was a different person. She stayed home, not going anywhere. Said she wanted to keep me company. When I had an upset stomach, she obediently stayed by my side, making me congee. When I glanced a few times at travel ads, she started planning a trip with me after the new year. Maybe because she was heartbroken. She was more attentive to me this time than before, but I wouldn't be moved by her anymore. I quietly watched Lu Ruyan play the role of a perfect girlfriend. Watching her run around for a few words from me, I felt no guilt at all. This last bit of effort she put in, let it be repayment for the past. Thinking this, I felt even less burdened. After the snow stopped, my mother sent me a few suit styles, asking which one I liked. I held up my phone, flipping through and zooming in, looking at the details on the clothes. Maybe I was too focused. When Lu Ruyan tiptoed over to me, I didn't notice at all, until she snatched the phone from my hand. I turned around, and saw Lu Ruyan's face instantly darken. A groom suit? Why are you looking at a groom suit? Without blinking, I started lying. Didn't I tell you last time? A friend is getting married soon. There's a problem with the wedding suit. They're adjusting it. They asked me to help decide. Seeing my expression unchanged, Lu Ruyan slowly let go of her doubts. She handed the phone back and casually asked, I forgot, what date is the wedding? I'll go with you. Looking at her serious expression, a very subtle smile appeared on my face. January 19th, do you really want to go? Hearing the date, Lu Ruyan was a bit stunned. I stared at her, patiently waiting for her answer. After a long silence, she forced a reluctant smile to respond. I'll see then. After that question, Lu Ruyan fell into a depressed mood again. She was absent-minded all day, lie in a dream. With the wedding as a cover, I didn't hide anything. I packed my luggage in front of her. It had been 6 years since I moved into this riverside apartment after graduation. I only picked things I bought myself to put in the suitcase. I didn't take anything else. Anyway, back in Jingbei, it's my territory. I can buy whatever I need. These things can stay here. Occasionally, when Lu Ruyan snapped out of it, she would look through my suitcase. After seeing what was inside, she never asked a single question. I knew she was now fully expecting Chen Zhe'i to give her an invitation to his birthday party. She completely failed to notice that I had secretly thrown away many personal items. As long as the couple items I once treasured were still there, she would never suspect me, that I would leave and never come back. After all, in her eyes, I loved her to the point of dying for her. Why would she suspect I was really leaving? With a mindset of cutting ties, I packed up very easily. January 18th. The weather was gloomy. It was about to rain. Lu Ruyan got up early. She sat on the sofa, staring at her phone. I got up a bit later, sat at the table eating breakfast. The nanny looked at the sky and asked, Mr. Lin, it looks like rain. Should we leave for the airport early? Hearing this, Lu Ruyan looked up. She subconsciously asked, going to the airport for what? I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. You said you'd think about it. Have you decided now? I casually explained. I quietly looked at Lu Ruyan. She was silent for a few seconds before finally saying, it's too far. I'm not going. I'll take you to the airport. I wasn't surprised by this answer. I finished the last piece of toast, then went back to the bedroom and picked up my luggage. Lu Ruyan had just fastened her seatbelt. Her phone suddenly rang. Lu Ruyan hurriedly opened it. The next second, her usually cold eyes showed joy she could no longer hide. She put down her phone, unfastened her seatbelt, opened the car door. After getting out, she realized what she was doing. She quickly leaned down to explain to me, Lin Chuan, something urgent came up at the company. I have to deal with it first. I'll have the driver take you to the airport after so many years together. From Lu Ruyan's evasive eyes, I could easily tell she was lying, but I didn't expose her. I just nodded lightly. While waiting for the driver, I opened social media. Sure enough, I saw Chen Zhe's birthday party pot. The pretty girl was no longer by his side. Looks like they broke up again. This also meant that Chen Zhe's promise that if she wasn't married by 28, he would be with Lu Ruyan was back on the table. No wonder she was so happy. When the driver arrived, Lu Ruyan had changed into a white evening gown. She got into the sports car next to her, full of energy. She rolled down the window and waved at me. When will you be back? I smiled but didn't answer. Lu Ruyan didn't mind. She sped off in the sports car. I sat in the passenger seat, watched the sports car disappear from sight, then quietly told the driver, let's go. A light rain began to fall, wetting the car window, blurring the glass. I could no longer see clearly. I didn't want to look anymore. I closed my eyes and silently said to myself, goodbye. Never see you again. Before boarding, I got a call from my father. Lin Chuan, what time do you arrive? I'll have the driver pick you up. I wanted to get home early, so I didn't refuse. I hadn't slept well the night before. As soon as I got on the plane, I felt sleepy. I slept through the 2-hour flight. After landing in Jingbei, I put on my hat and sunglasses. As I walked out of the gate, someone stopped me. Lin Chuan. Hearing this clear voice, I nodded, still half asleep. Uncle Gao sent me to pick you up. I squinted and glanced at Shin Yu-chu, thinking she must be the driver. But why was she a pretty girl? As soon as I got in the car, I leaned against the window and dozed off again. When I woke up, I saw an unfamiliar villa outside. My tone was full of suspicion. Where's this? This isn't my house. Seeing my reaction, Shin Yu-chu smiled lightly. Not today, but it will be tomorrow. To be precise, it's the wedding house. This answer left me stunned. I was completely awake now. I took off my hat and sunglasses, looked down at Shin Yu-chu, and met her smiling eyes. Seeing the SOC in my eyes, Shin Yu-chu understood. She reached out her hand to me. Forgot to introduce myself, Mr. Lin. I'm Shin Yu-chu. I forced an awkward smile, quickly reached out and shook Shin Yu-chu's hand. My tone was full of guilt. Sorry about that. I just woke up and mistook you. I'm Lin Chuan. Shin Yuchu smiled. Her voice was light and cheerful, not bothered at all. It's okay. We have plenty of time to get to know each other. On the other side, Lu Ruyan was adjusting her dress in front of the private room door, carefully smoothing out every wrinkle. Her phone vibrated a few times. She took it out and looked. It was a message from the driver, saying Mr. Lin had boarded the plane. After hesitating, she still sent a message. Let me know when you arrive. After composing herself, Lu Ruyan took a deep breath and pushed open the door. Her eyes locked onto the figure in the center that haunted her dreams. Her heartbeat unconsciously quickened. She walked quickly, passing a few people. She overheard some guys nearby teasing. Aze, you've got to show us today. Been hiding it for so long. What's the rush? When I make a wish later, I'll blow your minds. Lu Ruyan remembered what happened at her own birthday party a month ago. A look of anticipation silently appeared in her eyes. So the joke from when she was 16, could it really come true today? For hours, Lu Ruyan couldn't stop thinking about it. She nervously took a few sips of wine. When the cake was brought out, her hands were trembling slightly. A few close friends gathered around Lu Ruyan. Their eyes held a hint of secret delight. Ruyan, your dream is about to come true. How do you feel? Lu Ruyan lowered her head, smiling without speaking. Tang Yan was also watching the excitement. Suddenly, she remembered something. She put her hand on Lu Ruyan's shoulder. But if it happens, what about Lin Chuan? At Chen Zhe's birthday party, hearing the name Lin Chuan, Lu Ruyan's smile froze. A pang of guilt rose in her heart, seeing her expression change. Her friends quickly comforted her. Break up with him. Do it now. Anyway, he's just an ordinary guy. Easy to deal with. Yeah, if he causes trouble, we'll handle it. Ruyan, don't worry. Urged by the group, Lu Ruyan took out her phone and typed a few words, but her finger stopped over the send button. Seeing her hesitate, the others grew impatient. They grabbed her hand and pressed send. The "Are you there?" on the screen, and "Let me know when you arrive" was followed by a new message. Let's break up. The two messages were 3 hours apart. Counting the time, my plane should have landed. He should see this message soon. Lu Ruyan was still thinking, but her friends pulled her to the center. Amid the birthday song and Lu Ruyan's eager anticipation, Chen Ziyi clasped his hands together and made a wish devoutly. I hope my 28-year-old self has smooth sailing and can make a wish with Jejia next year. Lu Ruyan's smile from a second ago turned deathly pale. Everyone else in the room was also shocked. Who's Jejia? Let's meet her. Amid the cheers, Chen Zi said, she's my new girlfriend. As soon as he said that, the door to the private room was pushed open from outside. A beautiful girl walked in slowly. She smiled and greeted everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Chen Zi's girlfriend, Jejia. Amid the noise, Chen Zi smiled and held his new girlfriend's hand, sharing little details of their relationship with friends. Lu Ruyan sat in the corner, drinking glass after glass with her friends. As they drank, the whole group got drunk. Tang Yan staggered over to Chen Zi. Under everyone's surprised gaze, she spoke up for her best friend. Chen Zi, did you forget your promise to Ruyan? Hearing this, a flicker of curiosity crossed Jejia's face. Promise? What promise? Chen Zhe's face instantly turned ugly, but Tang Yan was too drunk to care. Seeing this, the other friends quickly stepped in to back her up. You promised Ruyan that you'd be with her at 28. We all remember. Are you going to be a heartbreaker? Jejia's smiling face slowly cooled. She turned and gave Chen Zi a deep look. Is that true? Drunk jokes can't be taken seriously. Besides, I said that when I was single, but I have a girlfriend now, so it doesn't count. Every word stabbed into Lu Ruyan's heart like a knife. She clutched her aching chest with one hand and pushed herself up from the sofa with the other. In front of everyone, she started laughing like crazy. It doesn't count. You have a girlfriend, and I have a boyfriend. Jokes, they're all jokes. A few words brought a smile back to Jejia's face. She nodded and took Chen Zhe's hand, walked over to Lu Ruyan with an expression as if nothing had happened. Looks like it was all a misunderstanding. I've heard Sister Ruyan has a boyfriend. Why didn't you bring him today? Lu Ruyan's mind went blank. She still forced a smile under Jejia's gaze. He went to a wedding. He's busy. Hearing this, Jejia nodded knowingly, but Chen Zhe's eyes flashed with displeasure. His tone was full of disbelief. Boyfriend? Who? I've been back for so long. Why haven't I heard you mention him? Seeing Chen Zhe's face, Lu Ruyan couldn't say a word. Tang Yan quickly stepped forward to support her, glared at Chen Zi with hatred. Her tone was sarcastic. Lin Chuan is Ruyan's boyfriend. He's the one. The hottest guy at her birthday party. Chen Zi remembered that night when I smiled and said I was just an ordinary friend. He felt something was off. He subconsciously questioned, but that night, both of them said they were just friends. Just a couple fighting and being stubborn. Chen Zi, you've been in so many relationships. Don't you get it? These words made Chen Zi's face turn red and white. He glanced at Tang Yan. Couldn't swallow his pride. Precisely because I've seen a lot. I want to ask a few more questions. Since you all say he's her boyfriend, why don't I call and ask? Let me get to know my new brother-in-law. Lu Ruyan and her friends' faces instantly darkened. They all thought of the breakup message they just sent. Just by looking at their faces, Chen Zi was confident. He took out his phone, found my WeChat, and made a voice call. The women knew they were about to be exposed. They tried to grab the phone, but Jejia was protective. She stood in front of them. Chen Zi went all in. He turned the volume to max and put it on speaker for everyone. The room instantly fell silent. Only the ringing sound remained. Lu Ruyan clenched her hands into fists inside her sleeves. He silently prayed in his heart, praying that I wouldn't answer the call, praying that I hadn't seen that message. During the minute-long ringing, Lu Ruyan felt her heart might leap out of her chest as the call was about to end automatically. Just as everyone was losing interest, the call was answered. Mr. Chen, is there something? Lu Ruyan's face quickly turned ashen. In stark contrast was Chen Zhe's ambiguous smile. Nothing much, just that today is my birthday. I heard you're Ruyan's boyfriend. I wanted to invite you to come hang out. There was a brief silence on the phone. Lu Ruyan was so nervous she could barely breathe. So I'm in Jingbei now. I'm afraid I can't make it. Hearing that my tone was still normal, Lu Ruyan guessed I probably hadn't seen that message yet. She breathed a slight sigh of relief, but my words weren't finished. He let out a meaningful ah with a hint of laughter. Oh, by the way, I've already broken up with Lu Ruyan. Mr. Chen, don't misunderstand. Chen Zi was a bit surprised, but more than that, he was gloating. Broken up? When did that happen? Just a short while ago. About 10 minutes ago. I received her breakup message. Everyone gathered around to watch the show. All wore expressions of wanting to laugh but not daring to. Chen Zhe's face was full of a smug smile. He cast a cold glance at those deliberately provocative young ladies. In a soft voice, "Oh cool. I'll pass the message along. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Lin. Then I'll trouble you. Happy 28th birthday. And may lovers eventually marry, whether intentionally or not." When I set my wishes, I emphasized the words 28 years old heavily. It seemed like I was telling everyone that I already knew the inside sheet to read. No one at the scene dared to ask. They could only watch helplessly as the call ended. The atmosphere in the room instantly dropped to freezing point. It was silent for a full 5 or 6 minutes. Finally, Xiaojia stepped in as a peacemaker. She toasted Lu Ruyan with a glass of wine and gently smoothed things over. After Lu Ruyan downed the last drop of wine in her glass, she slammed the glass down hard and left the birthday party with a few of her close friends. Just before leaving, Lu Ruyan vaguely heard a few words between Xiaojia and others. Is this Mr. Lin from Jingbei? I heard he might be. What's wrong? Nothing. Jingbei, surnamed Lin, sounds a bit familiar. I might be overthinking it. As soon as they left the banquet hall, her close friends gathered around and dragged Lu Ruyan to open another private room. They started comforting her in a flurry of voices. "Ruyan, it's actually good you're not marrying a man like Chen Ziyi. Otherwise, with the number of ex-girlfriends he's had in these 7 years, you'd need a separate 10 tables at the wedding banquet. A player like that, who loves one after another, if you really married him, something might go wrong. It's better to just stay with Lin Chuan." Right. Lin Chuan is better than Chen Ziyi in every way. He must have been angry today to say those things. "Ruyan, go back and sweet talk him. Explain more. He likes you so much, he'll definitely understand." With her friends giving her a boost of confidence, Lu Ruyan's low mood calmed down a bit. She took out her phone and found me. She racked her brains to think of a message and sent it. "Lin Chuan, I was just playing a game with everyone. The punishment for losing was to tell my boyfriend we're breaking up. Then I had to find someone to call to see a reaction. Don't take it seriously. How long have you been in Jingbei? Have you checked into the hotel? Or are you busy setting up the wedding venue? Are you coming back tomorrow or the day after? Can I come pick you up?" The message was sent a long time ago, but there was no reply. Lu Ruyan's eyes were glued to the screen. Her heart was in a panic. Her close friends exchanged glances, quickly tried to distract her. A wedding? He must be too busy to get away. "Ruyan, don't overthink it. When Lin Chuan has fry time, he'll reply to you. If he's really angry, at worst, we'll go with you to Jingbei tomorrow. Apologize in person." When I received Lu Ruyan's message, I was in the room with Xin Yuchu, trying on wedding dresses. I opened the message and couldn't help but laugh out loud at the first line, so she could make up an excuse like that on the spot. She's really quick-witted. Too bad I won't believe a word of it now. I could just imagine Lu Ruyan being publicly rejected by Chen Ziyi and then coming to me because she couldn't save face. Thinking about that strange phone call, the scene was probably even more interesting. At that moment, I suddenly felt a bit regretful that I didn't get to see it in person. I let out a soft sigh. Xin Yuchu, who was adjusting her skirt, looked up at the sound. "What's wrong? Is this wedding dress not pretty? Then I'll have someone bring a new one." "No, it's just that because of the wedding, I missed a good show. A bit regretful." "A good show? What good show? Can you tell me about it?" I felt like sharing, but I knew it wasn't appropriate to talk about an ex-girlfriend in front of my fiancé, so I tried to change the subject. "It's just some friends from Shanghai having a birthday." There was a bit of a misunderstanding. "Nothing serious. Let's focus on the wedding first." Seeing that I didn't want to say more, Xin Yuchu didn't press further. She went to the living room and brought back some desserts. "Are you a bit hungry? Have something to tide you over first. When we're done, I'll go out to eat with you. Is there anything you'd like to eat?" I was indeed a bit hungry. I asked Xin Yuchu if she wanted anything to eat. I noted it down and went out to arrange it. While ordering food, I fell into deep thought. Based on the information I had gathered, Xin Yuchu is the third young lady of the Xin group in Jingbei. She's 2 years younger than me. She has an older sister who is 2 years older, and another older sister who is 5 years older. She is currently the vice president of the Xin group. She was also raised by her eldest sister, so she is very proper and virtuous. In recent years, the Lin and Xin families have had frequent contact. The Lin family did extensive research and inquiries before tentatively proposing a marriage alliance. According to Lin's mother, Xin Yuchu only took one look at my photo and agreed, seemingly very satisfied. I didn't quite agree with that statement. After all, I ended my last relationship to come back and get married. I genuinely wanted to contribute to the Lin family. From the start, I never took this arranged marriage seriously. I just thought, if it works, it works. If not, we'll divorce. She might have fallen for me at first sight, as my mother said, after spending an afternoon together. Though we still weren't exactly close, I could tell from the little details that this fiancé was pretty good. Her looks go without saying. Naturally, she's top-notch, and her temperament, so far, seems very gentle and kind. She's also very organized, attentive, thoughtful, and knows how to handle people. Overall, regarding this fiancé who fell from the sky, I was satisfied. Beyond satisfaction, there was even a hint of pleasant surprise. It seems my parents have pretty good taste. After drinking all night, when Lu Ruyan woke up, the first thing she did was check her phone to see if I had replied. Over 10 hours had passed. The chat window was still blank. Lu Ruyan rubbed her eyes hard and threw her phone against the wall in frustration, startling everyone awake. Seeing her action, everyone was instantly wide awake. I didn't think Lin Chuan would play hard to get like this. "Don't worry, Ruyan. We'll go with you to win him back." The others quickly came over to comfort her. Lu Ruyan's mood improved a bit. Leaving the bar, the group headed straight for the airport. On the way, Lu Ruyan stared blankly at the distant skyscrapers, feeling a bit regretful. If I knew it would be for nothing, I should have agreed to go to Jingbei yesterday. As she thought, she felt more and more lost. She could only force herself to think, it's okay that I didn't go. Hearing Chen Ziyi say those things, she was completely disillusioned. Over the years, she had wanted to give up countless times, but because of the 28-year-old agreement, she always held on to a sliver of hope, especially after getting together with me. She felt like she was going to have a split personality, not knowing how to face this boyfriend who was devoted to her. Now it was time to make the final choice on this dilemma. She tentatively asked her friends, "If I can't smooth things over today, I'm thinking of proposing marriage. What do you think?" Hearing the word marriage, her friend's eyes went wide. "Marry Lin Chuan?" With her family background, your parents won't agree, will they? She's not bad, good-looking, and has a good temper, but I think she's okay for dating. For marriage, she's not really a good met for you. Though everyone was pouring cold water, Lu Ruyan wasn't listening. She leaned back in her seat. Her mind kept replaying the moments she had spent with me. After her 25th birthday, every few months, I would subtly bring up marriage to test the waters. She knew what I was thinking, and knew my family was pressuring me, but for her own selfish reasons, she still pretended not to understand. Now we were both getting older, and I was deeply in love with her. She didn't want to miss me either. Though the road to marriage was full of obstacles, she was willing to try. Thinking this, Lu Ruyan finally made up her mind to propose in Jingbei. She sent a message to her assistant, asking him to buy that pair of wedding rings that had caused a stir online. Just before boarding, the assistant replied that the rings had been bought for a sky-high price of 900 million. Lu Ruyan was a bit surprised. A pair of wedding rings sold for that much? Lu Ruyan asked for the buyer's name. The assistant replied with a single character, Shen. The Shen family of Jingbei. Thinking of that prestigious surname in their circle, Lu Ruyan was also a bit taken aback, but she had some connections with the second young lady of the Shen family. So she called to ask, "Those wedding rings? I bought them. My younger sister's getting married today. I gave them to the newlyweds as a wedding gift." "Ruyan, you asked too late. Miss Shen is also getting married today. Why are all the het pie events on the same day?" A flicker of surprise crossed her eyes. Still, she chose her words carefully, and politely thanked her. "I must have drunk too much and forgotten to buy them." "You're too kind, second miss. Since the third miss is getting married, please pass on my congratulations. I wonder which lucky man is so fortunate. My younger sister is marrying the young master of the Lin family." A perfect met. Hearing the word Lin, Lu Ruyan immediately thought of Lin Chuan's surname. Could it be that he went to the wedding of the Shin and Lin families? Does the Lin family in Jingbei have any relatives or friends named Lin Chuan? Many strange thoughts popped into Lu Ruyan's mind, but as soon as she got out of the car and was hit by the cold winter wind, they all disappeared. She shook her head and rubbed her temples, pushing all those messy thoughts aside. He was just a boy from an ordinary county town. How could he be connected to the Lin family? After the plane landed at the capital airport, Lu Ruyan called me. There was a lot of noise in the background. My attitude wasn't very good. Ex-girlfriend calling specifically. Is there something? Hearing the term ex-girlfriend, Lu Ruyan remembered what happened yesterday. Her blood pressure shot up, but she knew this wasn't the time to lose her temper, so she suppressed her anger and explained patiently, "Lin Chuan, that breakup yesterday was really just a joke. Can you believe me? I don't care if it was a game. I only believe what I see. You don't need to explain. I'm very busy right now. I don't have time to chat with you." With that, I hung up without waiting for her reaction. Lu Ruyan was so angry her face turned black. "Don't argue over the phone. When you see him, say something soft." Her friends took turns persuading her. Lu Ruyan's expression finally softened to Tingquan manner. Once the words Tingquan manner were spoken, everyone realized something was wrong. They looked at each other in confusion. Isn't that the famous wealthy area in Jingbei? The people who lie there are big shots who can shake the circle with a cough. Lin Chuan's friend's wedding is being held there? Lu Ruyan's heart also began to pound. Those thoughts from before boarding started creeping back. Could Lin Chuan really be a distant cousin of the Lin family? At 10:30, the wedding was about to start. Guests were taking their seats one by one. I was standing on the rooftop terrace. This wedding was planned by Shin Yuchu. It was very thoughtfully arranged. I realized my mother might not have been lying. She might have even been understating it. The marriage alliance between the Lin and Shin families. Logically, every influential family in the circle would come. But at most, there would be 700 or 800 tables. Why would they need such a huge venue? Even though the sun was out, it was still winter. It was a bit chilly outdoors. For the guests' comfort, countless heaters had been placed all around, and the stage was decorated with flowers flown in from Europe. The party favors given out at the entrance were even solid gold concentric locks. Every guest received one. This lavish and extravagant display even made me, who grew up abroad, feel a bit sorry for the expense. I smoothed down my windblown hair. Just as I was about to make a calm mend, Shin Yuchu walked over. "It's cold outside. Let's go in." I nodded and followed her into the room. Shin Yuchu handed me a cup of hot coffee. "Someone just called and said they arrived in Jingbei. They asked where the wedding venue is. Are they your friends? Do we need to send someone to the gate to pick them up?" "What friends?" I quickly picked up my phone and checked the call log, seeing the name Tang Yen. The expression on my face instantly turned a bit strange. Tang Yen called. "She's in Jingbei?" A meaningful smile curled at the corner of my mouth. "No need. They'll find their own way in. By the way, there are too many people here. I also saw a lot of cameras on the nearby hills, trying to take sneak photos. Maybe we should send someone to strengthen security to avoid any incidents." Shin Yuchu didn't think much of it. She agreed and, before leaving, handed me the wedding rings. Watching Shin Yuchu leave the room, I finally let out the laughter I had been holding back. Lu Ruyan came to my wedding. I couldn't imagine, when she saw me standing on the stage, how interesting her expression would be. I picked up the ring box and opened it. When I saw the rings inside, I was a little stunned. I had seen this pair of rings in a magazine 2 months ago, and had even shared it with Lu Ruyan. Back then, I was still imagining, one day, kneeling on one knee to propose to her. Who would have thought that just half a month later, I would find out about her in Chenzi? The wedding and rings I had longed for. I now had them all. As for the bride, it's better that she changed. To this day, I no longer had any nostalgia for everything that happened in the past 7 years. Only relief. At 11 o'clock sharp, the wedding began on time. Under the gaze of thousands, Shin's father led his daughter slowly into the venue and handed her over to me. After going through the earlier ceremonies step by step, it was soon time for the ring exchange. I picked up the wedding ring to put it on Shin Yuchu. Suddenly, a commotion broke out in the audience. I looked over and immediately saw Lu Ruyan. She looked like she had gone crazy, pushing aside the people blocking her. Her eyes were fixed on the stage. Her friends were charging alongside her, shouting my name. This sudden turn of events caught the attention of all the guests. Everyone's eyes darted between the stage and the audience, facing the unfriendly gazes from all around. I remained very calm. I turned to look at Lu Ruyan, seeing her face full of anger and confusion. I quickly whispered an apology to Shin Yuchu. "They're friends from Shanghai. Can we pause the wedding ceremony? Give me a few minutes to go talk to them?" Shin Yuchu hesitated, then nodded. I signaled for all the staff to stop. The security guards had already subdued the troublemakers and were about to drag them out. Seeing me raise my hand, they stopped. From beginning to end, Lu Ruyan's gaze was locked on me, never leaving for a moment. seeing me in the groom's suit, standing calmly in front of her. She could no longer control her temper. You said you were coming to a friend's wedding. Is this friend yourself? I couldn't help but want to laugh. Usually, when someone says a friend of mine, doesn't it usually refer to themselves? Lurian was almost laughed out of her anger by these two sentences. She closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, there was a blazing fire in them. Is this your excuse for getting married behind my back? What do you mean behind your back? Lurian, don't you go on lie? The word Lin and Shin seemed to remind Lu Ruyan of something. She suddenly turned to look at the bride, Shin Yuchu. This face was 50% similar to her second sister, Shin Yuncheng. Lu Ruyan recognized her immediately. Her pupils dilated. The skin around her mouth trembled slightly. The word unbelievable was written all over her face. Shin Yuchu's marriage partner is Lin Chuan? Then who is Lin Chuan? Tang Yan and the others behind her also realized this. They exclaimed in SOC. Lin Chuan, you're from the Lin family in Jingbei? I looked at them quietly and very patiently introduced myself. To be precise, I'm next heir of Lin family in Jingbei, the only son of Lin Outyan and MSC Xing, and Shin Yuchu's fiancé. Do you have any more questions about my identity? This long list of titles left the six of them speechless. These young ladies from Shanghai could indeed throw their weight around there. But this is Jingbei, the capital. Their family background and status were nothing in front of the Lin and Shin families. No one knew how long the silence lasted. Before Lurian asked in a hoarse voice, a question that was very important to her. Why did you never tell me before? Didn't you hide a lot from me too? Lie, the 28-year-old agreement. Two sentences were enough to make Lu Ruyan's face turn deathly pale. She struggled again, explaining anxiously. I can explain this. Lin Chuan, I never really got over Chen Ziyi, but in these 7 years, she was cut off mid-sentence. Shin Yuchu, who had been quietly watching from the sidelines, interrupted her. She said to the security guard, take them away. Shin Yuchu took my hand and said very gently, this isn't the right time to deal with this. Lin Chuan, after the wedding is over, we can invite your friends for a private dinner. Don't keep the guests waiting. I didn't expect Shin Yuchu to make such a decisive choice. At such a critical moment, I nodded in agreement, but I still had many questions in my heart. But this wasn't the time to ask. Shin Yuchu took my arm, and we returned to the center of the stage together. The light piano melodic started playing again. Amidst the congratulations from the crowd, the couple completed the ring exchange ceremony. The moment the bouquet was thrown, petals, feathers, and confetti rained down from the sky. The bright midday sun shone on Shin Yuchu, illuminating her delicate and beautiful face. I turned around and didn't look back, striding forward towards the future and tomorrow. After the grand wedding was over, I was a bit tired. Thinking back on what happened during the day, I felt it was time to have an honest talk with Shin Yuchu about what happened today. Is there anything you want to ask me? Shin Yuchu paused while wiping her face. She looked at me. If you want to talk, then I have things to ask. If you don't want to talk, then I have nothing to ask. Her compromising and gentle attitude surprised me. For the first time, I felt like I had married someone truly extraordinary. Aren't you curious about what my relationship with them really is? Aren't you worried about what happened today? That there might be some entanglements behind it? Shin Yuchu sat down on a nearby soft chair. Her eyes were full of calm. Curious and worried, but that doesn't matter. What matters is you. My wedding ended perfectly. You became my husband. We will walk through many tomorrows together. We'll walk through many tomorrows hand in hand. If you want to se the past, I'll be happy. If you don't want to talk about it, I can understand that too. It's all in the past now. Why cling to what can't be undone? For a moment, I felt the gap between people, and it also refreshed my understanding of Shin Yuchu. Moved by his words, I didn't want to hold back anymore, so I just came out with it. That group at the wedding was my ex-girlfriend and her friends. We dated for 7 years. I was planning to marry her, but she always had someone else in her heart. When I found out, I decided to break up and return to Jingbei, and my parents were pushing me to get married, so I just agreed. Yesterday, I officially broke up with her. She didn't know I was a Lin family member, so she came to the wedding and made a scene. As I listened, Shin Yuchu's face showed a subtle expression. Breaking up yesterday and getting married today. Isn't that a bit hasty? Maybe it is a bit hasty, but you and I are just a business marriage. As long as we maintain a stable marriage in public, isn't that enough? As I said this, my face was full of a matter-of-fact expression. Seeing this, Shin Yuchu's lips curled slightly. Then don't you care what your marriage partner is like? Not really. I just want to inherit the Lin group as soon as possible. Shin Yuchu's heart trembled violently. She stared at me for a long time, then gently nodded. Lu Ruyan was dragged hundreds of meters by security. Never in her life had she suffered such humiliation. Her friends weren't much better off. They were all thrown out at the villa entrance, facing the drive from dozens of security guards. They dared not speak or act. And below the steps were hundreds of reporters with cameras, who were frustrated they couldn't capture this century's wedding. A few sharp-eyed reporters immediately recognized Lu Ruyan and rushed forward shouting for an interview. Miss Lu, were you also invited to Miss Shin and Mr. Lin's wedding? You don't look too good right now. Did something happen inside? With someone leading, a crowd of reporters swarmed up to take photos and interview. Lu Ruyan was already in a terrible mood, and now being photographed in such a disheveled state, she flew into a rage. She directly pushed over the person in front of her, knocked down several cameras, then stormed off with her people. That evening, the news of Lu Ruyan assaulting reporters topped the entertainment headlines. The Lu group's reputation plummeted overnight. Negative articles kept coming out. Even the Lu family's money couldn't stop them. When Chen Zi called, Lu Ruyan was locked in her hotel room, drinking heavily. Hey, Ruyan, I saw the news that the person marrying the Shin family is Lin Chuan. So what if he's a Lin family member? After getting a positive answer, Chen Zai's voice carried a hint of excitement. Jie just told me. The project plan jointly prepared by the 4 families in Lutang City is ready. I heard the final decision on this project lies in Jingbei. Since you've been dating him for so many years, can you ask him for help to get this project into our hands? Although Lu Ruyan's mind was fuzzy, she still held on to her last shred of reason. She sneered, her tone full of despair. Ask him for help? He's already married Shin Yuchu. So what? Weren't you together for 7 years? Even if you've broken up now, shouldn't he still remember the old times? Just give it a try. Uncle Lu just called me asking where you are. His tone was very angry. If you can secure this project, he'll calm down and won't hold today's incident against you, right? After hearing this advice, Lu Ruyan's heart softened a bit. She didn't dare to be too confident, only gave a vague answer, then hung up the phone. She struggled to get up and splash water on her face in the bathroom. Her mind cleared up. A few minutes later, Tang Yan knocked and came in, and started discussing the project with her. Lu Ruyan leaned back on the sofa, staring coldly out the window, her mind in turmoil. This project is a big piece of fat. Forces from Jingbei, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Macau are all competing for it. The 4 families in Shanghai united, just to secure it firmly, and according to gathered intelligence, the person in charge of this project will likely be Lin Jiao, his aunt. If he can help connect with her, it would indeed be twice the result with half the effort. After pondering for a while, Lu Ruyan decided to give it a try, not just for this project, but also for her own selfish reasons. She still wanted to find a chance to see me again. The day after the wedding, after getting the marriage certificate, I went straight to the Lin Group headquarters to take up the position of vice president, to help me adapt as soon as possible. My father gave me several secretaries and assistants he had trained. I read documents and reports all day, finally got a rough idea of the group's internal situation. When I came to, I realized it was already dark. It was 8 in the evening. Only my office light was still on in the whole building. Why are you here? Shin Yuchu smiled lightly, her tone carrying a hint of helplessness. Today is our 2nd day of marriage. Technically, I should still be on wedding leave. I then remembered that when I left the Civil Affairs Bureau this morning and said I was going to the company, Shin Yuchu had that subtle expression. I finally understood what that expression meant. I explained a bit sheepishly. It's my first marriage, so I'm not experienced. Forgot about all that. But things like honeymoons and wedding leave are probably what ordinary couples care about. We're just a business marriage. We probably don't need to celebrate, right? A flicker of barely noticeable disappointment passed through Shin Yuchu's eyes, but she quickly adjusted her mood. If you're busy, we don't have to celebrate. But since we are married, could the busy Vice President Lin spare some time for dinner? I hope you'll agree. Her tone carried a hint of teasing, which made me smile too. I gladly nodded and got in the car. This dinner was set at a very famous Western restaurant. It was dinner time, and we arrived a bit late. The private rooms were all full, and I was hungry, too lazy to bother. After getting Shin Yuchu's agreement, we sat at a table by the window in the main hall. After getting the menu, Shin Yuchu handed it directly to me, then introduced a few signature dishes of the restaurant. Following her suggestions, I ordered 4 or 5 dishes I liked, then handed the menu back to her. But Shin Yuchu didn't order any more. Really not ordering a few more? My taste might be a bit strange. You might not lie it. She smiled and shook her head, her eyes sparkling as she looked at me. Since we're husband and wife, we'll be eating at the same table every day from now on. Of course, I should try more of what you lie and slowly get used to it. We're married, not sold into slavery. We still have the right to choose our favorite foods when eating. You don't need to think so much. If you have something to say, just say it. We can discuss it. Can we discuss anything? Then can we discuss not canceling the honeymoon? Seeing her serious expression, I thought she was going to make some request, but what came out was about the honeymoon. I was a bit surprised. Do you really want to go on a honeymoon? I've been busy with the wedding for a long time, and I want to take a good rest. Besides, both families hope we can get close quickly. I think the honeymoon is a great opportunity. What do you think? Hearing her sincere tone, all the excuses I had prepared got stuck in my throat. To be fair, Shin Yuchu is a very good wife. She always respects my opinions. A honeymoon is not really important to me, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings over such a small thing, so I agreed. After getting a positive answer, Shin Yuchu's smile grew even brighter. Then wait until you finish this busy period. When you have time, I'll arrange it. Lu Ruyan waited at the Lin Group building all day before she saw me. She followed me to the restaurant, wanting to find a chance to meet me alone. But I didn't leave my seat all evening, and was chatting and laughing with Shin Yuchu. The scene of us feeding each other deeply stung her. The dishes had been on the table for 2 hours. She hadn't touched a bite. Her eyes were fixed on my gentle smiling face. Finally, when I got up to go to the restroom, Lu Ruyan quickly followed, and called out to me in the hallway. Lin Xuan, why did you agree to marry Shin Yuchu? I turned around, a flash of surprise in my eyes. If I remember correctly, we've already broken up, haven't we? What does my marriage have to do with you? My indifferent tone made Lu Ruyan feel belittled. Anger surged in her heart. The marriage between the Lin and Shin families was decided over a month ago. We hadn't broken up yet then. You already had a backup plan. I crossed my arms and glanced at her, my tone flat. I had planned to return to Dingbei and get married a month ago. But why are you angry? You've been planning for 7 years to break up on Chen Zhe's 28th birthday. Is it wrong for me to plan my own way out a month in advance? A few words left Lu Ruyan speechless. She clenched her fists, swallowing the bitterness and regret surging in her chest, still trying to defend herself. What happened between him and me isn't what you think. I know he doesn't lie me, but after knowing him for so many years and having that promise, it became an obsession in my heart. I did want to be with you. On the way to Jingbei, I was ready to propose to you. I had already picked out the ring. Lin Xuan, can you believe me? Only after being completely rejected by him. Did you remember me, your backup? Too bad, I'm already married. Lu Ruyan, you should go propose to Chen Ziyi. Maybe he'll say det. My tone was full of undisguised sarcasm, which made Lu Ruyan even more pained. She stepped forward to grab my hand, but I avoided her. I never liked him. I was confused before. I didn't see him clearly. Only after that birthday party did I realize. In these 7 years, I've gotten used to having you by my side. I really want to marry you. I used to think he was two-timing, but still had a shred of sincerity. Now after hearing all this, I feel a bit sick. You hate Chen Ziyi for not accepting you. Hate him for treating you like a backup. Do you think waiting for Chen Ziyi for 7 years shows your deep love for him? Almost moved yourself to tears? But while hating him, have you ever thought you're essentially no different from Chen Ziyi? He doesn't agree but keeps you hanging. You're dissatisfied and keep me hanging. You're just birds of a feather. Why act lie you didn't see clearly and regret it now? In an instant, all the color drained from Lu Ruyan's face, leaving only paleness. I didn't care about her feelings at that moment, and I don't want to keep tangled with him. I turned and walked back to the main hall. As we passed each other, Lu Ruyan couldn't help it, and grabbed me. My patience had reached its limit. I shook her off. The old chandelier above creaked and fell, straight toward my head. In that moment of danger, Lu Ruyan instinctively pushed me aside with a loud crash. The heavy iron chandelier hit her shoulder, pushed several meters away. I ran into Shin Yuchu, who was coming over. I couldn't help but look back and saw Lu Ruyan lying on the ground. She was curled up in pain, her left hand tightly clutching her right shoulder, her face flushed red from the pain. Waiters who heard the noise came to check on Lu Ruyan's injuries. Shin Yuchu also frowned and asked if I was hurt. After confirming I was unharmed, she breathed a sigh of relief and helped me leave this place. Watching us leave hand in hand, Lu Ruyan, lying on the ground, bit her lip hard, wanting to make a sound, but couldn't stop the sobs in her throat. She closed her eyes in despair. Scenes of memories flashed through her mind, all related to me. When she had a stomachache, I stayed by her side, contacted many doctors, always caring about her condition. When she bumped into a wall and bruised her arm, I would immediately boil an egg to gently rub it. When she couldn't sleep at night, I would fight off sleep to listen to light Neo Dike with her and brew soothing soup. Before anything related to her, I cared about everything. Now, she's injured saving me. But I didn't react at all and left with someone else openly. Until this moment, Lu Ruyan finally believed that I am no longer the person she knew. I no longer see her as my only one, and I no longer love her. After arriving home, my mood slowly calmed down. I lay on the sofa drinking hot tea, recalling what had just happened. I was still a bit shaken. I was about to complain to Shin Yuchu, but when I turned my head, I saw her crouching down with a first aid kit. I'm not injured. Why did you bring the first aid kit? Shin Yuchu didn't answer, just gently pointed at my ankle. Here. I followed her gaze and saw a small cut on my heel from a piece of glass. Shin Yuchu picked up a cotton swab and dipped it in alcohol. This might sting a bit. I usually wouldn't care about such a small injury, so seeing Shin Yuchu so concerned made me a bit embarrassed. A small injury like this is fine without treatment. Don't worry so much. Even as I said that, the moment the alcohol touched the wound, I still gasped. After disinfecting, Shin Yuchu put a band-aid over the wound. I'll have someone bring some waterproof stuff for the next couple of days when you shower. Be careful. Don't let the wound get wet. If you go out, wear slippers. I left home as a child and stayed with my aunt. After returning to the country 4 years ago and 6 years of college and dating, I was always alone in a foreign place. This is the first time someone has made such a big deal over a small wound on me. Surprised, I also wanted to lighten the mood, so I made a small joke. No need to go to all that trouble. By the time your stuff arrives, the wound might be healed. Shin Yuchu looked up at me steadily, her face showing a seriousness I had never seen before. The reason you got hurt today is also because of my oversight. I can't escape the blame. Any wound hurts. I don't want you to be scared like that and still feel uncomfortable physically. That's why I'm a bit naggy. But it's never bad to be more careful. Just listen to me this once. Whether it was because her tone was too sincere, or because of the flash of guilt in her eyes, my heartstrings were plucked and kept trembling. I couldn't look her in the eye. I lowered my gaze and nodded slightly. After Shin Yuchu left with the first aid kit, I received a call from Tang Yen. Hey, are you really this heartless? Ruyan saved you and got seriously injured. Won't you even come see her? Hearing her baseless accusation, I didn't want to be splashed with this dirty water. I sneered. If he hadn't kept clinging to me and not letting go, the chandelier wouldn't have fallen on me. Her injury is just her own fault. How can you blame me? No matter what happened, she did push you away at the critical moment. Don't you have any feelings for the past? I almost admire her shamelessness and ability to twist the truth. I didn't want to waste more words with her. Glancing at the band-aid on my leg, I lied. I would lie to go see her, but I'm also injured on my leg. I can't go out right now. There was silence on the phone for over 10 seconds. She cleared her throat, her tone softening. If you can't come, forget it, but you still owe her a favor. How about this? I heard that in a month, there's the project launch banquet for Yundao. Have your secretary send a few invitations, and we'll call it even. So that's what she was after. I couldn't help but snicker, and casually agreed. After hanging up, I sent a few messages to my aunt asking about the specifics of this project, then asked her to send a few invitations tomorrow. For the next few days, no matter what I did, Shin Yuchu followed me. At first, I would tell her to go do her own thing, but she kept using the wedding leave excuse to shut me up. Gradually, I found that with Shin Yuchu around, no matter what work problem I encountered, she always had an opinion. Under the daily company, I got used to his presence. We quickly became familiar. When I had to work late at night, Shin Yuchu would bring her laptop and sit with me, quietly doing her own thing. Occasionally, when she had to go out, she would immediately let me know. During breaks, she would take me out on dates, showing me many interesting and novel places and trinkets. On the morning of Chinese New Year's Eve, half a month later, the two families decided to gather together for the reunion dinner. Over a dozen people from both families sat together, chatting lively. The conversation always revolved around the newlyweds. Lin's mother looked at me and Shin Yuchu sitting beside her with relief and sighed with emotion. Lin Chuan's stubbornness is exactly like her aunt's. After graduation, I told him to come back to Jingbei, but he refused, insisting on making it on his own outside. I couldn't do anything about him. Yuchu, if she does anything wrong, please be understanding. My mother was criticizing me in front of everyone. I was a bit upset, just about to defend myself. Shin Yuchu put a freshly peeled orange in my hand and said with a smile, Mom, you're exaggerating. Lin Chuan isn't being stubborn. I think she's very independent and has her own opinions. In the future, together with her aunt, she will definitely be able to shoulder the Lin family's burden. I'll need to learn from her. I can't hold her back. After she said that, the Shin family also chimed in with praise, making Lin's mother smile from ear to ear, her tone full of joy. As long as you two get along, we elders are hep pie. If you could have a child soon, we'd be even happier. A few elders heard this and started teasing too. My face and ears turned bright red. Shin Yuchu noticed my expression change, quickly made an excuse, and pulled me out to the garden. Hit by the cold winter wind, my face slowly returned to normal. Shin Yuchu's lips curled into a slight smile, and she proactively changed the subject. Are you going to that banquet tomorrow? Det. The invitation for Lu Ruyan was sent from my end. I need to keep an eye on her and see what she's up to. Do you have any extra invitations? Give me one too. Hearing this, I looked up at her in surprise. This project is cool, but you and sister are busy with Yuan Chuan lately. At such a critical time, you still want to come and scope things out? She knew I was joking. Blinked quickly, then replied, of course, I'm not interested in this project. It's just the holidays, nothing to do. I want to go with you and take a look. I nodded in understanding, remembering I only had one invitation left. I pulled her downstairs to find my aunt. The project banquet was set at the largest hotel in Jingbei. At 7 in the evening, the project leader slowly walked onto the stage and announced the official start of the banquet. The Lin family's car was delayed by traffic for half an hour. As soon as we opened the door, my aunt was surrounded by those who had been waiting for her. Seeing so many people, I didn't want to get involved either. I pulled Shin Yuchu through the crowd and went inside. We weren't here for the looks anyway, so we strolled leisurely, wandering casually through the hall, savoring the food and wine. Lu Ruyan stood on the second floor, leaning on the railing with a glass of champagne. She spotted me whispering intimately with Shin Yuchu at once. This past month, he thought a lot. He'd given up on me. I'm a member of the Lin family, and I married Shin Yuchu. Neither family was someone he could afford to offend, so she kept telling herself to let go of the past and face reality. But after all that mental preparation, seeing us appear before her again, acting so close, she still felt a bit resentful. Her face instantly darkened. Chen Ziyi, standing nearby, followed her gaze. His eyes lit up when he saw me. He pulled Xia Jiajia and headed downstairs. Tang Yin saw this and dragged Lu Ruyan along. The four of them wove through the crowd and stood before me. Miss, long time no see. I heard you just got married recently. Congratulations on your marriage. Thank you. As soon as those words fell, the atmosphere turned cold again. Xia Jiajia didn't dare speak anymore, so she shot Chen Ziyi a look. Chen Ziyi quickly stepped forward and waved at me. Brother Lin Chuan, do you remember me? We met about 2 months ago. Mr. Chen, long time no see. Hearing my voice, Lu Ruyan finally looked up, just in time to catch my cold glance. Lin Chuan, long time no see. I heard you got hurt that day. Are you better now? Thanks to you, I've recovered well. My meaningful tone made Lu Ruyan's heart tremble. A look of guilt appeared on her face. She couldn't help but want to explain. Before she could speak, Shin Yuchu interrupted her. Lin Chuan and I came with my aunt to the banquet. I didn't expect to run into Jiajia here during the new year. Did you fly all the way to Jingbei for something? Hearing this, Tang Yan quickly nudged Xia Jiajia's hand, signaling her to seize the opportunity. Our families are also interested in the Yundao project, so we thought we'd come check it out. I heard Lin Chuan's aunt is in charge of this project. Yuchu, could you, considering our past friendship, help introduce us? Shin Yuchu didn't answer him right away. Instead, she looked up at me, as if asking for my opinion. After a silent exchange of glances, I'd lie to help. But as you can see, my aunt is too busy right now. It's probably not convenient. The three of them exchanged looks. They understood this was a refusal. Not wanting to offend anyone, they exchanged a few pleasantries and left. Only Lu Ruyan stayed behind, staring at me, hesitating to speak. I don't want to talk to you. I pulled Shin Yuchu and walked away, but she followed us like she'd lost her soul. From the hall to the second floor, then to the garden. Seeing no one around. Miss Lu, you've been following my husband and me. Is there something you want to say? Lu Ruyan suddenly realized her behavior was inappropriate. She quickly apologized. Sorry, I've had too much to drink and got confused. I can't find my way. Hearing this lame excuse, Shin Yuchu chuckled softly, but her tone was icy. A moment of confusion is fine. Just don't stay confused forever. Lin Chuan might share soul ties, but I have no connection with the Lu family. There's no old friendship to speak of. The threat in her words made Lu Ruyan's heart sink to the bottom. She knew, with the Shin family's power, if Shin Yuchu said a few words, the Lu family could disappear overnight. Lu Ruyan didn't dare gamble her family to fight her. She could only grit her teeth and swallow her pride. Turning back to the hall, President Lin, your nephew has some ties with us too. Please, for his sake, can't you just drink this toast we offer you? Although I didn't know what was happening inside. Hearing those words, I realized something was wrong. I rushed in quickly, just as I pushed through the crowd to the main hall. The words President Lin, I'm sorry. Before I could say them, I saw my aunt pick up the phone and call security. For a moment, the whole place fell silent. The other guests looked gleefully at the four pale-faced people. Today is the Yundao project launch banquet, not a backdoor or shortcut. Since you all have invitations, please listen carefully to the upcoming presentation. Don't follow these people's crooked ways, otherwise, being kicked out. Don't say I didn't give you face. As a dozen security guards escorted the four away, I happened to return with Shin Yuchu. The couple stood at the door, watching for a long time, then exchanged a glance. Both saw amusement in each other's eyes. The host's voice came from the hall. Looks like the project meeting is starting. The troublemakers are gone. I didn't want to say either. I pulled her and said we should go home. Shin Yuchu agreed to everything I said. She texted my aunt and drove off. The couple had been staying at the old house these days. The servants had all gone home for the holiday. The house was empty. We curled up on the sofa and watched a musix. Close to midnight, I suddenly wanted to eat tangyuan for the holiday. It was late at night. Nearby shops and delivery were all closed. I looked at the unavailable for delivery on my phone and sighed deeply. Seeing my frustrated expression, Shin Yuchu smiled gently. She went into the kitchen and pulled out a bag of glutinous rice flour from the cabinet. Seeing her move, I curiously leaned in, my eyes full of surprise. You can make tangyuan? Shin Yuchu saw me fiddling with the flour and knew I wanted to try too. So she took down 2 aprons and put one on me. Can't we just find a tutorial? It should be simple. I thought she was right, so I quickly opened my phone. We followed the tutorial for over an hour. Finally managed to knead a few uneven, oddly shaped tangyuan. When the water boiled, I wanted to drop them in. Shin Yuchu was afraid I'd burn myself. She quickly took the plate and told me to get 2 bowls. There was no fermented rice at home, so she added some brown sugar for flavor. When the 2 bowls of tangyuan came out, it was already past midnight. I scooped up the biggest tangyuan from my bowl and showed it off to Shin Yuchu. The biggest one is mine. Looks like I'll have good luck this year. Shin Yuchu looked at me with a smile. I took a bite. My smug look froze for a few seconds, then returned to normal. Is it not good? My eyes darted around. I nodded frantically, then held the spoon out to her, urging, it's really good. Want to try? Shin Yuchu glanced at it and knew the plum-sized tangyuan I'd made wasn't cooked, but she didn't hesitate for a second. She leaned down and ate the other half. Seeing she'd fallen for it, I could barely hold back my smirk. I quickly covered my face with my hand. Good, right? But her face lit up with a surprised expression. She gave a thumbs up. Good, sweet and chewy. Just my taste. Her eyes sparkled as she said this, making me unsure if she was telling the truth. But I still trusted my own taste buds. I put down my spoon, lifted her chin with one hand, trying to pry her mouth open and see. Shin Yuchu just swallowed what was in her mouth. By the time I managed to open her mouth, there was nothing to see. A disappointed look immediately appeared on my face. It was clearly raw. You're lying to me, right? As we playfully wrestled, we rolled off the sofa and fell onto the carpet together. We looked at each other, our breaths mingling inches apart. The only sounds in the living room were the movies and credits, and the occasional fireworks exploding outside the window. I reacted first, frantically trying to push myself up from the carpet, but Shin Yuchu gently grabbed my wrist. Her fingertips were soft and warm, just like her, always composed, yet always managing to touch the softest part of my heart. Lin Chuan. She spoke first. Her voice was soft, but every word was clear. The donghua was raw. I didn't lie to you. I was stunned. Then I laughed and fell back onto the carpet. From this distance, I looked seriously into her eyes. I'd seen her calm composure handling emergencies at the wedding. I'd seen her sharp efficiency with documents in the office. I'd seen her worry over a small injury with earnest concern. But I'd never seen the tenderness hidden in her eyes at this moment. Then why did you eat it? Because you gave it to me. Shin Yuchu said it openly. She reached up and gently cupped my face. Actually, I've liked you for many more years than you know. My movements suddenly froze. The smile in my eyes hadn't faded yet, but they were filled with SOC. I always thought this marriage started with family arrangements, a perfect met in social status. But I never imagined this seemingly hasty union. Hidden, unknown Chitari, a secret spanning nearly 10 years. Shin Yuchu saw my shocked expression, couldn't help but smile, and whispered the secret she kept in her heart for years, word by word, to the person she'd waited for so long. When I was 18, your aunt returned to get married. I went to the banquet with my family. That day, the whole place was filled with clinking glasses and chatter. People from Jingbei's circles surrounded the Lin family. But you sat quietly in a corner of the banquet hall, tuning the piano your aunt was going to play on stage. When your fingers touched the strings, you lowered your eyes. Even the sunlight streaming through the window seemed to favor you, gently falling on your profile. At that moment, I thought, how could there be someone like this? Pure and stubborn, with a tenderness in his eyes untouched by the world. From that day on, I silently watched you. I knew you gave up a comfortable life in Jingbei and insisted on studying at Yunda. I knew you played the piano at the senior welcome party and were liked by many. I knew you had a long, long relationship, giving all your tenderness and patience without reservation to someone else. Her voice was still steady, but hid a hint of barely noticeable bitterness. I could only watch you from afar, not daring to get close. Unable to get close. I could only remember the preferences you casually posted online and keep the snippets others mentioned of you hidden in my heart. Watching you lop someone else for 7 years and waiting for you for 7 years. So when your aunt came to propose the marriage alliance, I didn't hesitate for a second before agreeing. I never wanted to marry the heir of the Lin group. Never wanted a business partner of equal status. From start to finish, it was only you. Lin Chuan. She looked up and met my trembling gaze. Her eyes were overflowing with tenderness. I waited for nearly 10 years. Finally got the chance to stand by your side openly and treat you well. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. My eyes inexplicably grew hot. In that 7-year relationship, I was always the one giving, always the one being overlooked. I thought my true feelings were destined to be let down, but I never imagined that, where I couldn't see, there was someone who noticed everything about me and kept it in her heart, quietly loving me for nearly 10 years. Those coincidences I once thought were finally had an answer now. She knew I don't eat seafood, knew I need warm honey water when I stay up late, knew the stubbornness and sensitivity hidden beneath my gentle exterior, knew I say I don't care. But deep down, I crave a steadfast lot more than anyone. It wasn't that she was naturally attentive. It was that she'd remembered everything about me for years. I reached out and carefully pulled her into my arms, holding her tightly, as if afraid this was just a dream. My chin resting on the top of her head. My voice carried a hint of barely suppressed emotion. Yuchu, I'm late. I wasted 7 years on the wrong person, missing out on her nearly 10 years of waiting. Luckily, I turned around in time. Luckily, she was still there waiting. It's not too late. Shin Yuchu reached out and hugged me back, burying her face in my chest, listening to my strong heartbeat, smiling with her eyes curved. As long as it's you in the end, it's never too late. The fireworks outside exploded brilliantly at that moment, the sky full of light reflected on the window, and in the eyes of the two smiling at each other. That late night, we didn't mention business alliances anymore, or talk about playing a role. We just curled up on the sofa, finished that bowl of half-cooked brown sugar tangyuan, and talked about the years we'd missed. For the first time, I knew what it felt like to be steadfastly loved and remembered in someone's heart for so many years. It was such a warm feeling. Everything that followed fell into place now.